Imagine if every time someone tried to push your buttons, they failed. Imagine not needing to prove your point, not needing to react, not needing to defend yourself, because you've built a level of calm that no one can touch. Being unbothered isn't about ignoring life. It's about mastering your emotions so you don't hand your peace to anyone who doesn't deserve it. And today, I want to show you exactly how to train yourself to reach that level step by step. Dadi Tani 8-3-1 variant sand standard title. Train yourself to be unbothered K.1 expansion. The moment something happens, the moment someone says something that stings or challenges you, your instinct is to react. It's human. We want to defend, to prove, to respond. But the truth is, the most powerful person in the room isn't the loudest. It's the one who knows how to pause. That tiny space between what happens to you and what you choose to do about it, that's where strength lies. Most people skip that space. They get caught up in the heat of emotion and fire off words they can't take back. But the ones who train themselves to pause, to breathe, to process, they build a kind of self-control that makes them untouchable. That pause is where clarity lives. It's where your emotions have time to calm down and your logic has time to catch up. Think about it. How many arguments have you walked away from wishing you had said less or nothing at all? How many moments of regret started with a reaction instead of a response? The pause doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you passive. It makes you strategic, because when you take a moment to breathe, to let the initial emotion pass, you start seeing the situation for what it really is, not what it felt like in the heat of the moment. Being unbothered isn't about never feeling bothered. It's about not letting that feeling control what happens next. The pause is your training ground for that. When someone insults you, tries to provoke you, or says something that feels disrespectful, your emotions will rise. That's natural. But in that split second, you have a choice. Do you let their words dictate your reaction, or do you choose calm? The untrained mind reacts to everything. The trained mind pauses and decides if it's even worth reacting to. That's emotional maturity. See, most people expect a reaction. They feed off it. They want to know they can get under your skin. The moment you show them that you can't be shaken, that you can listen, breathe, and stay composed, they lose control of the game, because it is a game. Some people will throw their frustrations at you just to see what you'll do. But when you don't give them what they're looking for, they're left powerless. Your pause disarms them. It confuses them. And that's the point. You're no longer reacting to them. You're managing yourself. It's not about pretending you don't care. It's about showing that your peace isn't up for negotiation. You've learned that not every battle is worth fighting. Not every word deserves a reply, and not every emotion needs to be displayed. You start to notice how your energy changes when you take your time before responding. Your tone softens, your thoughts sharpen, and your confidence rises. Not because you won, but because you stayed in control. And that's what being unbothered really means: control, not of others, but of yourself. Training yourself to pause takes practice. It starts small. The next time you feel triggered, don't rush to respond. Count to 3. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself, what outcome do I really want here? Do you want peace, or do you want to prove something? Because most of the time, proving a point costs you your peace. And if you think about it, that's a pretty expensive trade. The pause helps you keep that balance. It lets you respond in a way that reflects who you are, not what someone else tried to make you become in that moment. When you start living this way, you realize how rare it is. The world moves fast. People talk fast. Emotions rise fast. But you start moving slower, talking softer, thinking clearer. And suddenly, you're not playing catch up with your emotions anymore. You're leading them. You're guiding them. And that's what separates calm from chaos. The pause is where you decide who's in charge, you or your impulses. Every time you choose the pause, you're training yourself. You're teaching your mind that you don't have to react to every spark that flies your way. You don't have to attend every argument you're invited to. You don't have to let someone else's energy pull you out of character. You can stand still, breathe, and respond only when it serves your peace. That's not weakness. That's wisdom. Because the truth is, calm isn't something you're born with. It's something you build one pause at a time. And when you master that pause, you master yourself. Dre 2032, variant, strain, standard, title, Train Yourself to Be Unbothered, Key Point 2 Expansion. One of the hardest lessons to learn in life is that not everyone will understand you, and they don't have to. We grow up craving to be seen, to be heard, to be understood. We want people to get our intentions, our choices, our heart. But the truth is, some people never will, no matter how clearly you explain yourself. And the more you chase their understanding, the more power you give them over your peace. Being unbothered starts when you stop needing everyone to agree with you. When you finally accept that understanding is not a requirement for respect, that's when you start freeing yourself from the constant weight of trying to justify your every move. The reason this is so hard is because validation feels good. When someone gets you, when they say, "Yeah, I understand," it feels like a relief. But when they don't, it feels like rejection. That's where the problem begins. You start changing your tone, your choices, even your personality, just to earn approval from people who might never give it to you. And that's exhausting. You can't build peace while living for perception. Every time you try to convince someone of your worth, you quietly hand them control over how you see yourself. And that's not peace. That's dependency. The moment you stop explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you, your energy shifts. You begin to realize that silence isn't weakness. It's clarity. Because the more you explain, the more some people twist. They don't want to understand you. They want to have something to use against you. And you don't owe anyone your explanations. You owe yourself your peace. So instead of saying, "Let me make you understand," start saying, "That's okay if you don't." That sentence alone can save you from countless arguments that never needed to happen in the first place. People will always have opinions. They'll misunderstand your boundaries, your confidence, your silence, your growth. Some will even call it arrogance or coldness. But what they call arrogance is often just your peace making them uncomfortable. You don't have to dim yourself to make others feel okay about who they are. If they wanted to understand, they would. If they cared to access your heart, they'd ask instead of assume. So stop trying to be understood by people who don't even listen when you speak. Your peace doesn't need their approval to exist. And that's the difference between needing to be understood and choosing to be at peace. One keeps you chasing, explaining, defending, while the other allows you to stay grounded. Knowing your truth speaks for itself. When you know your intentions, when you know the reason behind your choices, when you know your heart, you stop needing anyone else to validate it. You become steady. You stop explaining your calm to the chaos around you. You stop explaining your standards to those who benefit from your lack of them. You stop explaining your silence to people who only hear noise. You just live. And that in itself becomes your statement, confidence to be misunderstood and still stay kind. It takes strength to walk away from an argument, not because you lost, but because you realized it was never worth your energy to begin with. That's what emotional maturity looks like. You start valuing your energy more than your ego. You stop arguing for clarity in places where confusion is convenient. You start realizing that peace isn't about winning the debate. It's about not needing to have one at all. You'll notice that the more you practice this, the lighter you feel. Your mood isn't controlled by how people respond to you anymore. Your peace stops being conditional because now you've learned that silence is an answer to, distance is a boundary, and understanding isn't owed, it's earned. You'll stop feeling the need to over-explain because you'll trust that the right people will get it and the wrong ones never will. That's not cynicism, that's clarity. The day you stop needing everyone to understand you is the day you truly understand yourself. Woody Thai, 2003 Theer, Variant Twine Standard, title, Train Yourself to Be Unbothered, Key Point 3 Expansion. Most of what people throw at you has nothing to do with you. Their tone, their attitude, their words, it's all a reflection of what's going on inside of them, not inside of you. But the mistake we make is taking it personally. We take every comment, every look, every silence as if it's an attack on who we are. That's how we give away our peace. The truth is most people aren't even thinking about you the way you think they are. They're reacting from their own stress, their own insecurities, their own stories that have nothing to do with yours. When you learn to filter instead of absorb, you stop carrying what was never meant for you. Think of it like this. You're walking through life with an emotional backpack. Every time someone says something rude, acts distant, or projects their negativity onto you, you have two choices. Pick it up or leave it where it is. Most people pick it up without realizing it. They walk away heavy, tired, and wondering why their peace feels so fragile. But when you train yourself to filter, to pause and say, that's not mine, you start protecting your energy. Because not every mood deserves a reaction. Not every insult deserves an explanation. Not every moment of tension requires your participation. The truth is, people project. Hurt people project their hurt. Insecure people project their fear. Angry people project their pain. You can't control that. But you can control what you absorb. When someone snaps at you before reacting, ask yourself, is this really about me? Most of the time, it's not. It's about something going on in their world that they don't know how to manage. And if you take it personally, you let their storm spill into your calm. But when you filter it, you realize you can stand in peace even while someone else is falling apart. This doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you start caring intelligently. You stop making every emotional wave your responsibility to fix. You understand that empathy doesn't mean absorption. It means awareness. You can understand someone's pain without letting it poison your peace. You can be kind without being consumed. That balance is where your strength grows. You become a quiet observer of behavior instead of a reactor to it. And that's where you start to master being unbothered. When you live this way, you start noticing patterns. The same people who once drained your energy don't affect you the same way anymore. Their words lose power because you're no longer giving them meaning they don't deserve. You start recognizing that how someone treats you is often a reflection of their own relationship with themselves. And when you understand that their behavior becomes information, not an injury, you stop thinking, what did I do wrong? And start thinking, that's just where they are right now. That mindset alone can save you years of unnecessary stress. You also begin to realize that not taking things personally doesn't mean you let people walk over you. It means you respond with clarity instead of emotion. You can still set boundaries, still speak up, still stand your ground, but you do it calmly, not reactively. Because when your peace isn't easily disturbed, your boundaries become firm without becoming aggressive. You stop needing to prove your worth through confrontation. You already know your value. You're just choosing not to let every minor situation challenge it. And here's the beautiful part. You start seeing how much lighter life feels when you stop carrying other people's emotional baggage. You have more space for your goals, your joy, your relationships that actually feed you. You notice how much energy you save when you're not constantly managing other people's moods. The world doesn't change. You do. You start walking through life with a filter that protects your peace. You start seeing people's behavior for what it is, a reflection of them, not a definition of you. Being unbothered isn't about not feeling. It's about feeling everything, but choosing what deserves to stay. It's about saying, I understand you're upset, but I won't let that energy settle in me. It's about recognizing that someone else's chaos doesn't have to become your confusion. You start to see how peaceful it feels to stay grounded while others lose balance. And that's the power of emotional control. It's quiet, steady, and deeply freeing. When you stop taking things personally, you stop being a prisoner to everyone else's emotions. I'd 8234 variant and standard title, train yourself to evolve to be unbothered key. Point 4 expansion. There's a kind of strength that doesn't make noise. It doesn't raise its voice. It doesn't argue for attention. It doesn't need to win the room. It's the kind of strength that lives in stillness. The tone of your calm says more about you than any words ever could. You can walk into a room and say nothing, yet people can feel your energy steady, grounded, and controlled. That's the tone of stillness. It's not about being emotionless. It's about being composed enough that your emotions don't run the show. When you learn to master that, you stop being pulled into the chaos around you. You stop reacting to everything that tries to shake you because your peace isn't built on circumstance. It's built on control. When someone raises their voice, it's natural to want to match their volume. When someone gets defensive, it's easy to want to explain yourself louder, faster, stronger. But the real power is in doing the opposite. You lower your tone. You slow your pace. You hold eye contact. You don't rush to defend. You allow silence to do the talking. That kind of calm is uncomfortable for people who thrive on conflict. They expect you to meet their energy, to play the same emotional game. But when you stay still, when you stay measured, it throws them off balance. because they realize they can't control your energy. They can only control their own. Stillness is not weakness, it's strategy. It gives you the upper hand without having to fight for it. The louder someone gets, the more composed you become. The more emotional they get, the more grounded you stay. You're not matching their mood, you're setting the tone. And the truth is, tone is contagious. People start mirroring your calm. They start adjusting to your steadiness. Your peace becomes the anchor in the room. You don't demand respect. You command it quietly through presence, not pressure. But here's what most people don't realize: mastering stillness takes practice. It doesn't happen overnight. You'll feel the pull to react, to snap back, to prove a point. And in that moment, you'll have to remind yourself, I'm not here to win arguments. I'm here to protect my peace. Because your peace is more valuable than being right. Your peace is what allows you to walk away from situations that others get stuck in. It's what allows you to think clearly while everyone else is tangled in emotion. Stillness keeps you sharp. Think about how rare that is today. Everyone's in a rush to respond, to defend, to be heard. But the person who knows how to pause, how to listen, how to remain centered, that person stands out. They don't react to insults. They don't get dragged into unnecessary debates, and they don't let every opinion shake their confidence. You start to realize that calm is not the absence of emotion. It's the presence of control. You can feel anger, frustration, even disappointment, but you don't let those emotions choose your behavior. That's the discipline of stillness. And the beauty of mastering your tone is that it changes how people treat you. When you speak with calm confidence, people listen differently. You don't have to shout to make a point. You don't have to dominate to lead. The steadiness in your voice says, I'm not here to prove anything. I'm already sure of who I am. That quiet certainty can move a room faster than any forceful argument ever could. It's not about intimidation. It's about influence. And influence built on calm lasts longer than influence built on control. Over time, your stillness becomes a shield. You stop absorbing chaos. You stop letting people pull you into storms that don't belong to you. You learn that silence can be louder than words, and calm can be stronger than confrontation. You realize that being unbothered isn't about ignoring life. It's about responding to it from a place of grounded confidence. The tone of stillness tells the world that your emotions are yours, and no one gets to dictate when or how you use them. The world doesn't need more people who know how to react. It needs more people who know how to stay calm. Because calm is rare, and rare always has value. The ones who master stillness don't just survive conflict. They shape it. They shift the energy around them without saying much at all. And that's what real power looks like. When you learn to master your tone of stillness, you stop matching energy and start setting it. 85 A8 235 variants for standard title. Train yourself to be unbothered. Key point 5 expansion. And your energy is your most valuable currency, and most people spend it carelessly. They spend it arguing over things that don't matter, reacting to opinions that don't deserve attention, and giving their peace away to people who haven't earned a second of it. When you start viewing your energy like something limited, like money you can't just hand out freely, you begin to see how much of your peace is being wasted on things that don't grow you. Protecting your energy isn't about building walls. It's about building boundaries. It's not about shutting people out. It's about deciding what gets in. Because everything that gets your attention gets a piece of your power, and that's not something to give away easily. You'll notice that the more you value your energy, the quieter your life becomes. The arguments stop being worth it. The drama starts to look small. The urge to prove yourself fades because you realize peace feels better than validation. You stop chasing attention and start chasing alignment. You start choosing calm over chaos, solitude over noise, and presence over performance. That's what protecting your energy looks like. It's not flashy. It's not loud. It's intentional. It's saying, I don't need to attend every argument I'm invited to, and meaning it. The truth is, not everyone deserves access to you. Not every text deserves a reply. Not every situation deserves a reaction. And not every person deserves your energy. That's not arrogance. That's awareness. Because every time you pour your time and emotion into something meaningless, you have less to give to what truly matters. Protecting your energy means asking yourself one simple question before you engage. Does this serve me? If it doesn't bring growth, peace, or purpose, then it's not worth the cost. And sometimes the cost is higher than you realize. Because when you spend your energy on the wrong things, you don't just lose time, you lose focus, clarity, and confidence. Think of your energy like a battery. Every conversation, every thought, every decision either drains or recharges it. The people who constantly complain, gossip, or criticize, they drain it. The moments you overthink, argue, or hold grudges, they drain it too. But the time you spend in peace, reflection, growth, laughter, that's what recharges you. You start to notice patterns, who leaves you feeling heavy and who helps you feel grounded. Protecting your energy means paying attention to those patterns and adjusting accordingly. You don't have to cut everyone off, but you do have to manage your access wisely. Some people can stay in your life, just not in your space. And here's the part most people miss. Protecting your energy isn't selfish. It's responsible. You can't show up fully for the things and people you care about if you're constantly running on empty. You can't be patient or focused if you're drained from trying to please everyone. Boundaries aren't about distance. They're about direction. They point your energy where it actually belongs. They remind you that peace is something you maintain, not something you find. And the more you protect it, the stronger it becomes. You'll start to realize that sometimes protecting your energy means saying no to things that used to excite you. It means letting go of people who no longer align with your growth. It means outgrowing conversations that only revolve around complaining, comparison, or negativity. Because the more you evolve, the more peace becomes your priority. And peace and chaos can't coexist. One has to go. You start noticing how good it feels when you stop defending yourself to people who only listen to argue. You stop explaining your choices to people who don't understand your journey. You stop trying to fix what was never yours to fix. You let go. And the more you let go, the more your energy returns to you. When you truly start protecting your energy, you become harder to disturb. You start noticing that the same situation that used to frustrate you no longer have the same hold because you've trained yourself to choose where your power goes. You no longer respond to every provocation. You no longer attach yourself to every outcome. You stop chasing peace and start becoming it. And that changes everything. You walk differently. You speak differently. You think differently because now your calm is intentional, not accidental. Being unbothered isn't about not caring. It's about caring smarter. It's about understanding that your attention is sacred, your energy is expensive, and your peace is priceless. And when you finally start treating it that way, life gets quieter, lighter, and a whole lot clearer. When you learn to protect your energy like currency, you stop going broke on things that don't matter. AD 82036 variant standard title Sian, train yourself to be unbothered. Conclusion, being unbothered isn't about being cold or detached. It's about being intentional. It's the quiet confidence that comes from knowing you can stay centered no matter what's happening around you. You've learned to pause before reacting, to let go of the need to be understood, to filter instead of absorb, to master your tone of stillness, and to protect your energy like it's gold. And when you start living that way, you realize something powerful. You're no longer controlled by circumstances, opinions, or emotions that aren't yours. You become steady in a world that's constantly shifting because peace doesn't come from things going your way. It comes from knowing you'll be okay, even when they don't,